Howdy freeze dryers, if you're watching this video, it's early spring. Your soil temperatures in your garden are starting to rise and you're starting to see some green things come up, including, once it hits 50 degrees, some asparagus crowns. But this time of year, it seems like stuff just overnight just blossoms and blooms and becomes green. If you have never tried freeze-dried asparagus, it's probably gonna be your new favorite snack. Today I'm gonna show you a couple ways to prepare this asparagus, and it's just gonna make a crunchy, delicious snack, good for replacing those unhealthy potato chips. I'm gonna prepare mine two different ways. I'm gonna blanch mine, and then I'm also going to put mine on a smoker. There's several different ways you can prepare this asparagus, and there's also a couple different things you're gonna wanna keep in mind when you're doing asparagus. If you're trying to go for just long-term storage, like you have an overage of asparagus and you wanna just be able to pull it off the shelf and make it for dinner or whatever, you're probably not gonna wanna use any oil. I would say just blanch it and bag it and throw it on a shelf like you normally would. If you want it as a snack, I would probably recommend using a little bit of oil just because it's probably gonna help give a little bit of crisp. It's gonna add a little flavor. I would say at a bare minimum, you do need to blanch these because you're not gonna wanna just do them raw. I think if you do that, you're probably gonna get a stomach ache by eating raw asparagus like this. Blanching just kind of helps soften everything up, and it'll store a little bit better that way as well. So I'm gonna get a pot of water boiling. You just need to blanch them real quick. You're just kind of trying to take the edge off of these, soften them up just a little bit. You don't need to fully cook them. However, if you do want to fully cook them, that's totally fine too. And then after this is starting to boil, I'm gonna get the smoker going. So while the smoker is getting ready, I wanna talk about a couple of things. You don't actually have to put them on a smoker. You can also throw them on a charcoal grill or a gas grill or anything like that. They're very good that way too. This is a good time to get some kind of oil. You can either brush oil onto them or you can use a spray like this. I also like to throw some seasoned salt on here. I actually have a really good recipe for my Traeger rub. It's like a knockoff recipe. I will put a link for that video down in the description. It's a really good rub for all kinds of stuff, not just asparagus. Throw those on any kind of meats or barbecues or anything like that. I'm putting my smoker on 225. Really, it's just a matter of preference on how long you want to wait, how much smokiness you want. The good thing about watching this video is you don't have to experiment with how long it needs to be on a smoker. I'm gonna do that for you. All right, we are smoking and we're ready. So what I'm gonna do is just take a whole bunch of these, put them across the grill grate like this, and then I'm just gonna give them a light coating of oil. And then I'm gonna take my Traeger rub and just drizzle some of that on them. That just gives it a little saltiness, gives it a little bit of extra flavor. This is really the best way to do it if you want them to be a snack because you're gonna get a smoky flavor or a grill flavor if you're doing that. If you want to do them long-term storage, I would probably just blanch them and bag them. We're gonna do that next. And now we have some rolling, boiling water. I'm just gonna dip those crowns in there. You could break these up into smaller pieces, which might actually work a little better if you were gonna do long-term storage. Those just need to sit in there they just need to blanch. So a couple minutes is probably fine. Depending on doneness that you want, you could go 3, 4, 5 minutes if you wanted to. It really just depends on your end game and the end result that you want. You could fully cook them if you wanted to, and then just reheat them, and then they would be ready for a dinner or whatever. But I'm really excited for this end result, especially the smoked ones, because anything that has that smokiness flavor, especially as a snack, may be a good replacement for barbecue chips. And I think asparagus will be a good replacement for that. Lots of health benefits to asparagus. These blanched ones have been in for 3 minutes now, and you can see that they're not super droopy, they're not fully cooked. I think these will store really nice for long term. And it'd be interesting to rehydrate these and then maybe cook them fully just for a dinner snack or whatever. Maybe we'll try that at the end of the video. All right, we're gonna drain these off, and then we're gonna go right onto the tray with these. I'm gonna go onto pre-cut parchment. You could also go onto silicone, would work well. If you need some of that, make sure you pick some up at freezedryingsupplies.com. And as I'm doing this, I'm realizing that it probably would be beneficial to cut these up. So I think I'm actually gonna do that and then put them back on the tray. All right, there we go. That is a lot better. So a couple of reasons I think this will be better. One, you can obviously fit a lot more onto the tray this way. I think it'll also freeze dry just a little bit faster because you have more open ends. This is probably about a bunch or maybe a bunch and a half worth if you went and bought some at the store. And our smoked asparagus has been on for about a half an hour, and I really want to check on that. Even though we're at a low temperature, I don't really want to fully cook it, I don't think, because I want to retain some of that stiffness, and I think it'll probably give us a better crunch that way. So let's go check on that. I don't want to leave them on for too much longer because I think that they will start to kind of shrivel up. Some of them start to get kind of thin. What I'm realizing as I'm taking these off the smoker, these would actually be really good for all kinds of different stuff that you could add to them. You could put barbecue sauce on these, you could do liquid smoke. Anything that you really do on the grill or the smoker would probably accent these pretty well. So I have 3 trays of smoked asparagus, and then our top tray is gonna be our blanched asparagus. I actually forgot that I should cut these up first. Same reason, I think that they will freeze dry faster. I think that they will actually do a lot better, and if you're using them for a snack, just a little more bite size. All right, our blanched ones are gonna go on the top. Make sure you subscribe to Live Life Simple and do the like thing. Give us a thumbs up if you like the content, and also click the bell to get notifications every time we release a new video. Or we are also trying to stay with the times as much as possible. You can also find me on X and Instagram now, and some pesky person stole my usernames. So my username on Instagram and X will be OG Freeze Dryer. And as usual, you can find all of these recipes that we do on these videos at the freezedryingcookbook.com. You can also check out our hard copy versions, Volume 1 and Volume 2. You can always find answers to all of your questions about freeze drying on our freeze drying Facebook group and MeWe group. Those are Retired at 40's freeze drying group. And if you like the products that you've seen in this video or other videos, make sure you check out freezedryingsupplies.com. That is our company. We developed all of the products to streamline the entire freeze drying process from start to finish. And now I am eagerly awaiting for these to be freeze dried so I can do my favorite part, which is taste testing. So let's do that now. Okay, these have been in for about 24 hours. You can see they did shrivel down or shrink down just a little bit from when we put them in the freeze dryer, but that's to be expected. You can see these 3 on the right are the grilled. The 1 tray on the left is the blanched tray. Those actually remained bigger than all the grilled ones. So what I'm gonna do is take a small part of these blanched ones. I would like to try to soak them and rehydrate them and then cook them and see how they turn out in comparison to like a fresh asparagus. The grilled ones, I don't think that's really plausible. I think that really the grilled ones are just specifically for a snack. So why don't we just go ahead and try the grilled ones right now. They're really good. They have a nice crunch. You can taste the smokiness. I think you'd get that same effect if you grilled them. Put a little seasoning salt on, so you have a little salty, you have a little crunch, you have a little smokiness, and this is a good replacement, good healthy replacement for all kinds of different stuff. So I'm gonna use our food funnel, and I'm gonna bag all of these grilled ones up, or not bag them up, put them in a jar, because these will probably go quick in our house. I'm gonna do the same with these blanched ones for part of them, just enough to rehydrate, and then the rest of them I'm gonna actually bag up. I went ahead and filled our mason jar with some water. I'm gonna let these soak. I'm gonna give them a good soak for about 4 to 5 minutes, I think, until they've kind of puffed back up again. We'll throw them in some hot water and we'll see if we can get them to be just like normal. These have been cooked, strained, and we started off with some pretty skinny asparagus crowns in the first place. Asparagus will shrivel down even when you cook it under regular circumstances as well. The important part is, does it taste the same way as it did before it was freeze dried? So what's cool is these still have a crunch, just like they would if you brought them home from the store or picked them from your garden. Total win today on all accounts. The stuff that would go into long-term storage like this is awesome. The grilled snack version was awesome. Freeze dried asparagus, give it a shot. In the meantime, remember to live life simple. We'll catch you next week.